This is how I plan on growing my YouTube channel from 0 to 100,000 subscribers my first year on the platform. Clicked on this video, I imagine you're probably also interested in growing your own YouTube channel. So hopefully you're able to take some inspiration from these concepts and ideas and maybe try and apply them to your own channel. One of the first things I plan on doing to try and grow this channel is by starting to make content in a very specific niche. My ultimate goal for this channel is to eventually be able to make content that is more just general business stuff about my ideas and views on business, as well as just documenting my journey as an entrepreneur. But the unfortunate reality is, early on, there's no reason for anyone to care about that if I've never made content and they have no idea who I am. There's also already thousands of people making content that serves that audience. So my plan is to go a lot more specific with my niche and then branch out later on once I've built a bit of an initial audience. So just for a bit of context, I own an e-commerce store that specializes in selling used Apple iPhones. The business currently buys all their phones wholesale. We have partnerships with companies like Amazon and Best Buy. First started out, I would buy all my phones individually on Facebook Marketplace and just resell them on Facebook Marketplace. So I have a lot of knowledge about that specific topic and buying and selling iPhones on YouTube. It actually seems to be a topic that a lot of people are interested in. I've also already made a few videos on the topic, and those seem to be doing pretty well for a channel with only 500 subscribers. I was also featured in a video on my friend Alex's channel where we talked about phone flipping. That video has almost 300,000 views now. So I definitely think it is a style of content that people want to watch and they're searching for, and it doesn't actually seem like there's too many people serving the niche at the moment. One of my main concerns when it came to picking such a specific niche is that I was worried that if you pick a very specific niche, you run the risk of locking yourself in that niche. But in this circumstance, I think the overlap between people who are interested in learning how to make money buying and reselling iPhones and the amount of people that are interested in just business and learning how to make money in general, it's probably quite a bit of overlap. I do imagine it'd be a lot more detrimental to my audience if I was trying to transition from making phone flipping content to, say, gardening content, because I can't imagine there's that much overlap between that audience. Having an initial audience on a specific topic that people are interested in will make it a lot easier for me to branch out into other videos down the line if I can get a bit of a push from that initial audience I build. I don't think I'll be able to make it to 100,000 subscribers just making videos on phone flipping. I do think it'll be a lot easier to get that initial push and that initial start, but making super specific videos that there's some sort of audience for. The concept I've been thinking a lot about going into this is a concept from a book called The Unfair Advantage. To drastically oversimplify it, The Unfair Advantage talks about the fact that everyone has unique qualities or circumstances that give them an unfair advantage over their competitors. It is more geared towards startup founders and early stage entrepreneurs, but I think it'd be a super helpful framework to help you grow a YouTube channel as well. These are some of my unfair advantages and how I plan on trying to use them to grow to 100,000 subscribers. So the first unfair advantage I have is simply that I have spent the past 3 years building a business and have quite a bit of knowledge about a very specific topic, which is phone flipping. I intend to leverage that knowledge by prioritizing creating videos that other people without that knowledge base would not be able to make. In turn, sets me apart and gives me more opportunity to stand out and attract new viewers to my channel. Another example of an unfair advantage I plan on leveraging is that I own my own business, which provides me with both time and financial stability. I can leverage this by being able to fund videos that a lot of other new creators might not be able to fund. Example of a video that leverages that could be something like, I spent $10,000 on broken iPhones. Basic, but something like that is something I could fund that maybe another new creator couldn't. An important note here for anyone that's watching is this works both ways. One of the unfair advantages for me can also be disadvantages. So if you have the complete opposite circumstances to me, there are advantages to that as well. It's literally just a framework that allows you to figure out what advantages your unique circumstances give you, and then creating a plan that leverages those advantages. To use someone who just started out phone flipping for an example, their lack of knowledge on the topic would be a disadvantage if they set out to try and make content that relies on being an expert at buying and reselling iPhones. However, if they were to prioritize making content from the perspective of someone figuring out the business, then their lack of knowledge on the topic would actually serve as an advantage because they're able to create content from that perspective and they're able to relate to their audience more. All right, it's like 6 degrees Celsius out. I've actually gone ahead and relocated back into the car where it's a little bit less chilly. All right, so there is actually one final piece of the puzzle, and that's the actual content I plan on making. Before we get into that, I do want to say, it goes without saying that I'll be doing all the best practices in terms of thumbnails and titles, and I'll be doing my best to do a better job at understanding YouTube retention and making videos that have a higher retention rate. And I'll be doing all the basic stuff that you see on all the channels that talk about how to make good videos and grow a channel. What is more important than that is how I actually plan on picking the content I create and generating video ideas. The main concept I plan on using to decide what videos to make is a concept called stealing like an artist. Stealing like an artist does not by any means mean that I plan on copying or stealing other people's content. Stealing like an artist just refers to studying and watching other people's content that's doing well and taking inspiration from that and trying to apply it to my own videos. An example of how I plan on doing that is in the dropshipping niche. A very common concept for videos is I made this much money in this amount of time dropshipping, maybe a week, a day, whatever. And that video has been done a lot in that niche. I intend to steal like an artist and watch a bunch of videos on that subject and see how other creators did it, make my own video like that in the phone flipping niche. For example, I could do how much money I made in 24 hours flipping phones. And then when I'm making and planning that video, I could actually go ahead and study the videos in the dropshipping niche. I could see what common trends were in those videos that made videos do well in that category, as well as what worked in terms of titles and thumbnails. And I can apply some of those things to my video that I make in my niche. So I am creating a unique video in a unique niche that hasn't been done before. So I get to make decisions and plan a video out in a way that is backed by some sort of data for what has actually already worked in other niches, which I personally think will give me a much higher likelihood of success when I go ahead and make my video if it's based on stuff that has already worked for other creators. I definitely think to get to the actual top and be the best at your craft, you need to be making 100% original ideas and really thinking outside the box. I think as a beginner, stealing like an artist is a great way to just start making content and get better at it, allow you to develop the skill set that eventually lets you make fully original ideas that are really out of the box. For being honest, I think it's really unlikely that you're going to start making videos right off the bat and you're going to come up with some crazy unique ideas no one's ever seen before and you're going to execute them perfectly. I think using the principle of stealing like an artist and getting inspiration elsewhere is just a great way to kickstart a channel, and you can get a lot of your initial growth that way. I'll say that 100,000 subscribers, while it seems cool, I'm well aware that it's really just a vanity metric. And the way the platform works now, it doesn't really matter how many subscribers you have to begin with. The real goal here is just to start creating better content and be able to build an audience that wants to watch it. But I do think it is really fun to set a large quantifiable goal that actually has a number tied to what you're trying to achieve. If you like this video and you'd like to follow along to see if any of these strategies or any of the things I plan on doing to grow my channel actually work, feel free to go ahead and subscribe down below, and I will see you in the next video.